legendary Mr. Skin.
Mr. Skin.
MrSkin.com.
Skin, everybody.
When it comes to naked celebrities, Mr. Skin knows all and shows all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Mr. Skin Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Lowell here in Los Angeles, and joined with me is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Skin. Hey buddy, what's up?
Hey Andrea, boy, we've had an interesting half hour trying.
You know what? Today's saga has been like, everything has been against us to not do this damn show, but you know what? We're doing the damn show.
The show must go on. You know, first of all, we get a call a couple hours before we were taping, and everyone knows Jimmy's in New York, I'm in Chicago, and you're in LA.
Yeah.
And we get a call we get an
email
text or an email, then a text. Jimmy had a family issue. His wife had to have minor surgery, but he's out of action.
Yeah.
And then we get in, all right, we're still going to do the show, Andrea and I. And then Andrea from LA, just something happened with your computer and you just could not get this synced up.
No.
And we were so we've been sitting here for a half hour trying to get ready to start the show.
I'm like covered in boob sweat. I don't know if that's a category on your Mr. Skin website, but titties that sweat would be very interesting because I'm literally like stress sweating because I could not figure it out. I'm like this little, totally non-technically savvy blonde chick, like troubleshooting, trying to figure out what the hell's going on, and I'm just like sweating it up. So just imagine me glistening right now.
Yeah, it is funny for me to sit here and you and Maddie D are talking and he's trying to walk you through this stuff. It's pretty funny to listen because I know you're not like super technical, so it's funny to hear you do this.
It's like I can figure stuff out if I have a desire to learn, but I have no desire to learn. So
right.
I'm like, no, I don't know what's going on.
Well, I think part of the reason I'm so technically incompetent is ever since I got into this business, I've had tech guys.
Right.
So anytime I have any issue, I just have them come in my office and fix it.
Me too.
I never do it on my own.
Yeah.
So no, I know how you're feeling. It's not easy.
We are the voices.
world.
We are not the people that push the buttons. So it's so funny when people ask me, oh, how do you do a podcast? How do you do a radio show? I'm like, I have no idea. I just talk. So it's really funny.
Hey, Andrea, do you think there's any way we could bottle some of that boob sweat and sell it at MrSkin.com?
You know what? I would 100% be down with that as long as we could get whoever the buyer is to sign a clause that they will not use it for cloning or DNA replication purposes. Yes. But yeah, absolutely. I mean,
no, that's funny. Every time, like I have never thought of that as a playlist. You know, we have thousands of playlists at our website, but I'm going to have to commission that one, Maddie D.
Yeah.
Sweaty boobs.
Titties that glisten.
What would be a good title for sweaty boobs?
I like glistening titties. Because they say like women don't sweat, we glisten or we perspire.
Don't sweat it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's
we'll come up with that.
Yeah, tons of hot, sweaty, topless chicks in the small and big screen. Now, I'm so excited to talk to you this week because, of course, our TV nudity report. I heard we have some Jennifer Connelly updates, which I am super stoked about because she's one of my favorite actresses, not only for her acting ability, but her body. But there's something about heavy boobs that you want to talk about on this week's episode. And I'm very curious what that is because I'm not sure I know. And of course, the Erection 2016 is still going on.
Yeah, we got tons of stuff to get to. Well, why don't I start with the TV nudity report from this weekend? Because, we always tape this on Monday and Sunday nights are always loaded. Actually, the whole weekend is usually good because there's some good stuff on Friday. But real quick, I wanted to get the Friday stuff. Corey has had 6 episodes, and I've talked to you 6 weeks in a row about this because it's just been a great show for nudity. It's on Cinemax Friday nights, and that Logan Marshall Green is Corey, and he's had that girl Jodie Balfour that we've talked about, you and I, and she's so hot. She's been naked pretty much every episode this season. But this Kaylee Ronayne, who was the girl that was with Detective Tommy Olsen, played by Josh Randall, had a great butt shot on Friday. But Corey is 6 for 6. Unfortunately, my skin scouts who've had a chance to see ahead to the final 2 episodes of season 1, episodes 7 and 8, have confirmed there will be no nudity in the final 2 episodes.
What?
But,
why? That makes no sense.
Well, here's the thing. They've had such a good run nudity-wise that I will give them a pass on.
You're so kind.
2 episodes. Yeah, if you get 6 out of 8 great nude scenes, I'm not going to bitch at
no,
you.
It's fantastic, but it's just kind of confusing to the viewer because it's like, okay, we're 6 for 6, so now we're anticipating it, and now it's going to be like, I remember when this happened on Game of Thrones. I was like, we just went an entire episode and I didn't see anything. It was kind of weird, like jarring in a way.
Yeah, it is. Well, even Westworld, they had their 3rd episode last night, and they actually just flashed back to Tandy Newton nude scene. So there was no new nudity this week in Westworld. And it's only 3 episodes in, and that was almost shocking for us here at the Mr. Skin offices that there was no nudity in Westworld. So anyway, so that was the Friday stuff. But last night there was some real good skin. Now, I've talked to you a lot about Masters of Sex, which is in their 4th season, 6th episode, and this week they visited a nudist colony, and I'm always a big fan of public nudity. It's just that I just love how people could be just so
open,
I don't know,
free,
just so open and free, especially the guys, because there's a scene where this woman and guy that I think I didn't see the whole episode, but I think they run the joint. They run the joint, or they're very key figures at the nudist colony. But it's funny because it's so funny because the guy's completely nude, but he's wearing a hat walking towards us, and then his wife is completely nude, also wearing a hat. But I just think it's funny to wear a hat at a nudist colony.
It's totally funny.
I'd be wearing 2 hats.
Absolutely, it's so bizarre. I think they're either called naturists or naturalists or people who are like this. But there's all these different rules. Over the years, I've interviewed quite a few people that live at, work at, or go to regularly nudist colonies. And you have to, I guess, carry like a little towel around with you everywhere you go. So when you sit down, you don't put your, snail trail,
your butt juice,
your smegma, whatever it is, on the bench, or when you're eating. It's really bizarre.
I got to tell you a story. When we operate Naked News, which is a website out of Toronto, and we run the operation, so we do all the technology, and we're very involved with them. We've been with them now for almost 3 years.
That's awesome.
I go up there a couple times a year to see the offices and talk to the key players over there. Yeah. And the first year I went there, I was interviewed by Victoria Sinclair, one of the anchors, who's one of the longtime anchors of the show. And it's funny because I'm dressed, and she interviewed me, but she was completely naked, but we were sitting on a leather couch. And she did the interview, and when it was done, she stood up and she had folded like a paper towel under her vagina and butt. And it was so weird. I almost wanted her to like autograph that for me. That was pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when you brought that up, I remember that I've seen that where naked chicks have to put a towel down.
You know what? Some days you're fine, but if we're talking, let's say, about the content we're talking about for anywhere from a half hour to an hour, and things get a little tingly, drippy. I don't want to leave any evidence of it. But, I've done tons of work fully nude, and I'll just sit on a towel because I just don't want to get other people's dirt on my private area. It's not because I'm really afraid of leaving anything. It's because I don't want it on me. Yeah, you don't want to
leave your DNA.
Well, yeah, and that's a reason I don't sell my panties too. Like, I get hit up by so many people on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever. Hey, can I buy your used underwear? Make sure you use it. I'm like, how would you know I used it unless, you want me to do something with it? But I just don't want people having my DNA, as weird as that sounds. In this day and age, it's a little iffy.
I just thought of a podcast fundraiser. Well, it's funny. That's what you're like. I got to say, we have fans that are a little, out there.
Yeah,
let's say
we have special fans,
each of us. So before I walked in here, I stopped by at our office manager's desk, and she had this like, we have an office manager here at the Mr. Skin offices, but so Lisa that works here had a letter, and I was like, oh, cool, is that a fan letter? And she's like, yeah, you got another fan letter. Every single time, Andrea, I get a fan letter, it's from a dude in prison, and I am not exaggerating. He's what? She showed me she highlighted a quote. She goes, yeah, look what he said. He goes, yeah, all the guys here in the cell block, some of your books are floating around. They're so popular here in the cell because, they can't get on the internet.
That's so
they
special,
look through.
Though. You're responsible for making all these inmates happy, bringing them joy through titties and ass.
Skin mates.
Yes,
yeah, skin mates. Yeah, it's a captive audience for sure. But, I don't think about that because we put these books out like in 2005 and 2007, like the Skintastic video guide, and then the I
have them on my bookshelf, baby.
Yeah. And then we did a video guide, the greatest movies of all time for nudity. And I've kind of forgot about them. I still have some laying around, but I forget that there's dudes that still like go through there with a marker and they're marking up nude scenes. And we got into a lot of detail in those books, but it is funny. I mean, I am not exaggerating. One time I got this letter, it must have been 15 pages long. So I start reading it. And then I start reading it.
15-page prison letter?
I'm not, well, I didn't know at first, but you kind of see in like the return thing, it'll say like Kentucky Correctional Institute or something.
Right.
So I'm reading the thing and then I'm thinking to myself, okay, I can't read this whole letter, but I'm going to look this guy up because he's got to be online. And it was he had done some horrible.
So you looked up like his inmate number,
and then I like had to drop the it's just that's the kind of guy. Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
That is ridiculous. That is so funny though. I thought I was alone in getting the prison fan mail, but I guess you do too. So
I do.
I think whatever makes them
letters
happy.
A year.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple letters a year. I'm not exaggerating. So anyway, let's get back to Sunday night.
So, but we were talking about Masters of Sex. Now I'm really interested in Caitlin Fitzgerald. She has a really main role, and she's naked in this episode.
Well, Caitlin Fitzgerald plays Masters. She plays Libby Masters, so Dr. Masters' wife. And in earlier seasons, she had some she's in a tough bind because Masters in the first few seasons wanted nothing to do with her. He was kind of, he wanted to be with Lizzie Kaplan, would not touch her. But it was like in the 50s and 60s where you couldn't divorce, you couldn't go out with the girls and meet some dudes. And it was like, a tough time. She wanted to raise a family. He didn't want anything to do with it. It was just like a really tough situation for her. Well, if you saw the earlier seasons, she ended up hooking up with a black guy, which in the 60s was like,
taboo.
Off the charts taboo. But it was such great sex because of the backstory. So it made it even that much better. We call that skinterracial at MrSkin.com, but it was so hot. And then she also hooked up with, I think he was like a widower. It was like a neighbor friend of theirs because her husband just wasn't paying attention to her. Well, she ends up with this guy. I haven't been following the last couple episodes, so I don't know what the relationship is, but her and this guy ended up at this, now this is Caitlin Fitzgerald's, her and this guy end up at this nudist colony, and she decides, they weren't going there to be nudists, they were going there for some, I guess he's a lawyer, and they were dealing with some problems that the nudist colony was having, but she felt very liberated, Libby felt liberated, and decided at night to give it a test run, so she stripped down and went for a walk completely nude. The only caveat is, for anyone listening out there, this nudity, we talked about it here at Mr. Skin, we're 99% sure that's a body double. So,
you are?
Yeah,
really?
It's a cool scene, but yeah, the way it's shot, we're very, very confident that's a body double. So we tagged it as such at our website, but she has past scenes where she's had these really hot sex scenes that you can see her naked, but don't count the stuff from last night as nudity because we're like I said, a body double.
That is mind-blowing to me because I wouldn't even have thought that. So thanks for the insight.
You're not in the business. You're not in the business. No. Yeah. So anyway, so Masters of Sex is having they're starting to pick up the pace, and the first 3 episodes were they started to build. 4th, we're getting there, so I'm expecting good things as we head into 6, 7, 8. It's starting to get good. The first 3 episodes were kind of a bummer for Masters of Sex, but they're turning it around. So
thank God.
And I do want to talk about Shameless.
Yes, and I missed it, so you got to fill me in, man.
Well, if you look at these pics, there's a lot of filling in going on here, but this Ruby Modine is she works with
Lip.
Emmy Ross. They all and Lip. I think they work at the restaurant, right? Super hot. So she ends up in a really great sex scene with Lip, and
she's getting pounded, dude. Pounded. I love it when chicks are holding onto the headboard and getting smashed. What?
Whoever this Lip dude is he's got to be loving the writers for the show, because remember he had that whole thing with the teacher, that Sasha Alexander.
Yeah,
and it seems like and then he had like a 4-way, and he's been having some amazing sex in the last few seasons. Good for him.
Big pimpin'. I don't know anyone his age that gets that much pussy like without being a rock star. This guy's boning everyone.
Yeah, one of my buddies here that works for us, Pete McMurray, who's also a radio personality in Chicago, Lip goes on his show every once in a while.
Oh, cool.
And he said he's a really cool guy, and I love that. I love to know if you're banging hot chicks and cool at the same time. That's pretty awesome. But here's a little trivia: this Ruby Modine that was with Lip, is Matthew Modine's daughter. You know Matthew Modine from Full Metal Jacket, Vision Quest, all that.
Wow,
it's pretty wild. Yeah, so
add her to the offspring list.
Anyway, well, I was talking to some guys in the content. Full Metal Jack Off, right?
Yes.
So I was talking to the guys in the content department that in the last like 2 or 3 months, we've had. So now you have this Ruby Modine, who's Matthew Modine's daughter, getting naked. Remember I told you guys about Glenn Fry's daughter, Taylor Fry?
Yes.
She was in that show Roadies. She got naked. Elvis's granddaughter, Riley Kehoe, in the Girlfriend Experience was also. And then even a couple weeks ago, we were talking about Randy Quaid, poor girl, Amanda Quaid.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was in Master. She was the girl in her underwear. It wasn't nudity, but it was pretty hot. So there's been a thing over the last few weeks or months of celebrities' daughters getting naked. It's pretty cool.
I'm loving it.
I guess if you do this as long as I have, you're going to start seeing like people you know's daughters get naked, because now it's 17
it's kind
years.
of like cyclical in a way, because you know, these stars were a certain age when they were at the peak of their career. Now their daughters are at that age. So it's fitting. It's just like this weird cycle of nudity that we might see a pattern over the next decades with offspring.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
So
I have a plenty of mother daughters. I can't think offhand of a grandma mother daughter. I do know like Tippi Hedren, Melanie Griffith, and Dakota Johnson, but Tippi Hedren never was nude, but she came close. So that's like my closest like grandma mom. I'll have to put the skin guys, the content department on this. So, but yeah, I think you'll have made it when you get a grandma nude, mother and daughter.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
That would be an incredible legacy. So tell me about what's going on with the twerking in Shameless with two of my favorite characters.
Shanola Hampton.
Yeah. Shanola Hampton has one of the best bodies on earth. Just so you know, I follow her on Instagram. I don't follow any celebrities. I'm like obsessed with her. I want to be her when I grow up. Like her body is so ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. Well, her husband, they started a naked maid service. So Shanola Hampton, this Isadora Gerster are in their maid's outfit, and they don't do any cleaning. They just go to old dudes' houses and and these girls are having fun with it. They rub their butts in the face, and they have their titties out with some little pasties. And this poor old man, well, not poor, but this old man's sitting there, and literally Shanola Hampton's boobs are behind his head, and Isadora's are in front, and he's getting like a 4-bagger.
I
which
love
is pretty cool.
that. A double motorboat. And these are big ass titties too, both of them. I mean, they're both gargantuan. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm seeing a sliver of a lip slip on Shanola. Yep. Please tell me that somehow we can capture that and zoom in on it. Not right now, obviously, but I'm the biggest fan of lip slips. And Shameless seems to be big on the lip slips. We had Emmy last season.
Emmy Rossum.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you remember that, because to me,
that was groundbreaking.
When I do my Anatomy Awards in February, because that was actually earlier in 2016.
Oh.
So yeah, that'll be that'll be one of my big Anatomy Awards, is going to be that lip slip. So we haven't been able to 100% confirm lippage, because we really have to analyze this. But the problem is it's not going to be prominent enough to unseat Emmy Rossum's lip slip.
No, because that was Mage. That was like the whole kit and caboodle. Out and about.
Yep. Oh, no question. Hey, also, I do want to say I was embarrassed this morning when I got in.
Okay.
The guys immediately had this mooning scene, and they had. Okay, so there's a scene where a group of William H. Macy's friends that he met at the homeless shelter, they get kicked out of the restaurant. So as they're leaving, they all moon the people sitting at the table, right?
And it's not just a moon; it's a pressing.
There's 3 pressed hams on the thing.
Should I zoom in?
Immediately I fire off a chat to our content department. I'm like, Anatomy Award, triple pressed ham. I'm all excited.
Yes.
I get the guy in content, Joey, hits me back. He goes, "Hey, one of those is William H. Macy." I go, I'm out. I'm out. Yeah. I had to rescind my triple pressed ham. So anyway,
it would have been epic if only.
Yeah. So, go figure, 3 episodes in, Shameless is pretty much shot to the top as best show for nudity so far in 2016. It's just if it continues like this, it's going to be hard to beat. Shameless is tough.
Well, Shameless is absolutely epic, and I want to remind everyone, if they want to call and leave Mr. Skin a question, a comment, and answer anything, give us a buzz. 304 Talk Skin. If you're lucky, we'll play your question on air, and Skin will answer it for you. Now, I need to ask you, Mr. Skin, what is going on with new Jennifer Connelly footage that I've never seen before?
Oh yeah,
you have to tell me about this. I'm dying.
Yeah. So. Okay, so a couple things on Jennifer Connelly. She has a movie coming out this weekend. It's called American Pastoral. And I had some Skin Scouts, I think it was at the Toronto Film Fest, I'm pretty sure, back in September, that were talking about this movie. And we were really excited here because at the hour and 5-minute mark, we had confirmation that Jennifer Connelly was going to be in a kind of just a beauty queen sash. So she plays a mother. She's married to Ewan McGregor.
Okay. And
they have a daughter that's a little bit of, this is based in the late 60s, and her daughter becomes a political activist, I guess, and it causes a lot of turmoil in the family. But I don't know the context of this, but the bottom line is that Jennifer Connelly is in a beauty queen sash and nothing else. So you see her butt, you get a lot of left boob, side boob, left boob. So it's hot as hell.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I love her too. Well, and then my Skin Scout at the Toronto Film Fest was like, "And you see Bush," and I'm like, "This is awesome! I cannot wait to see it." Jennifer Connelly, one of my favorites, mid to late 40s, but still gorgeous. Yeah. Can't wait to see this.
Yeah.
Well, last week she was on Jimmy Kimmel, and she did a whole interview, and she talked about, and we have a little audio. You got to listen to this. She talks about she was wearing a Merkin for that role, and the whole way it went down. No pun intended, how it went down. And it was really fascinating for Kimmel to be sitting there talking to Jennifer Connelly about her Merkin, and then know that this will be coming out on Friday. So, Maddie D, you got the clip?
So the scene in the factory is I show up at my husband's place of work entirely naked, except for a Miss New Jersey sash is the only thing that I'm wearing. I know I have the scene. And the scene takes place in the 1960s. So she says, "So we need to talk about your business, what you have going on down there.
Right.
And we need to talk about, do you think it's reflective of the era?" So I say, "Well, Judy, I'm going to be honest with you. I think fashions have changed. And maybe not so much." So she says, "Okay, we're going to have to make you a Merkin." And so for those of you who don't know what it is, and frankly, why would you know what it is? It's a vagina wig.
Is there a Merkin store that you go to and you order these online?
Oh, no. So step one in getting your own customized Merkin.
Hold on, let me get a pad.
Is this. We went to my trailer.
Okay, go to your trailer.
Step one, let's see what you got. I've known Judy for a lot of years. I think it's almost more uncomfortable.
It is more uncomfortable.
Like your buddies, it's like...
Yeah,
okay,
you
whatever.
want a stranger.
In step two, it's basically like... You do, right?
Yeah.
Step two, it's basically tracing paper and a Sharpie.
Really?
Yeah. And she's got it here, and she's putting it in there, and with the Sharpie drawing where she wants it to be. Judy, no way. That big? And then negotiation. Come on. I gotta go on to set. I gotta stand in front of people, and then it's gonna be in a movie. So the negotiation, she has it like, I swear to God, I mean, it was like out to here. So I'm negotiating with her for the size of the thing. Okay, I think I haggle it down to a size that I feel like I can actually go stand in front of people with this thing on. So then she sends me this text message sometime later. She sends the pattern off to the wig maker. The wig gets sent back to her in the mail. She opens up the envelope, and this is the picture. She texts this picture to me of the final product. It's a beast! Look at it! It's a beast! Look at it! It's long. It's got like a swoosh.
You could wear this as like a Duck Dynasty beard on Halloween.
Wow.
That was a great line.
Oh my
Great line by Jimmy Kimmel. I could listen to Jennifer Connelly talk about her vagina wig all day.
Oh, yeah. No, that was so educational, but I'm kind of confused. You know, hand to God, I'm a huge Jennifer Connelly fan. I love everything she does. She's amazing. Has one of the best bodies, boobs, butt, rear bird, everything in the game.
Yes.
She had a gargantuan natural bush in Requiem for a Dream. So what in the hell is she talking about? Did she forget that we have video evidence of a natural huge bush? I mean, how much bigger could this...
I got to tell you, I think that in the 60s, Requiem for a Dream was, supposed to be the late 90s.
Yeah, but it was still so thick.
Yeah, it was thick. But
I love how we're discussing
if you see the picture they showed on Kimmel, this is a beast.
That thing is long and curly. And it looks like there's little tiny individual hairs. So it's very well done. It's just so long and shaggy. It's almost more reminiscent of like the 70s.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So Maddie D just said, we'll put a picture of it up at the MrSkinPodcast.com if you want to check out this.
Gotta check that out.
What is on Jennifer Connelly's vagina during American Pastoral, which is in theaters opening this Friday. So all this happens at the hour and 5-minute mark, so don't go get popcorn at that time.
Right.
So you don't want to miss her in a sash. And just know that the butt and breast is really her, but the bush will be a Merkin. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, we're all over that American Pastoral, all over that at our website.
Now, the movie The Hot Spot, where she's totally naked and looks amazing and probably at the prime of her life ever as far as
19 years old at the time.
So hot.
Yeah.
I never noticed the shot of her on all fours before. Is that new?
You know what? No, it's just one of those things. Everyone remembers the up close breast shot, but the guy that was photographing her was standing across the water hiding, and they did this shot where she was on her knees. And tell me that isn't like, let me tell you, it doesn't get much.
This is when I would need the Victoria Sinclair paper towel fold.
Yes.
If I were doing the show naked, because that is so motherfucking hot.
Yeah, it's funny you say. So for anyone out there, so the scene, The Hot Spot, I always say if I had to pick the greatest breasts of all time on an actress is Jennifer Connelly when she was 19 years old in The Hot Spot. With the lighting, everything. It doesn't get much better than that.
No.
But people forget there's a scene where she's sitting next to Deborah Cole and she turns over and she's on her knees like doggy style, rear vagina to the camera. And it's incredible. Now it's a distant shot, but it's still just amazing. One of my favorite shots of all time is from this little quick scene from The Hot Spot.
She's perfect. She's just perfect. I can't. Yeah. She's ideal. Yeah. So I'm happy that we're going to see her again, and she has like that Marissa Tomei effect where she still looks good in her 40s, if not better. It's so crazy. Yeah. Like
the thing too about that scene was when it came out originally, video and crappy DVD, but once it came out, I think Maddie D, it came out on Blu-ray, right? Yeah. Yeah, it came out on Blu-ray, and we were all over it because we really use the 6 times the resolution for that. So anyway, it's a great moment in movie history. Jennifer Connelly on her knees from the rear, and it's one of my favorites from The Hot Spot. But yeah, catch her in American Pastoral this weekend,
Definitely.
and she I'm sure will look awesome. So couple other couple things I wanted to get to real quick before we wrap up. There was a funny thing. One of the girls in our office was checking out RuPaul's podcast, and
okay,
I didn't know RuPaul had a podcast. I know, I didn't either, but then I checked it out. It was pretty funny.
I bet it's good. And, yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, so RuPaul had Elvira on the show, and I'm a big Elvira fan, and
she's so hot now too.
Yeah,
so sexy,
in big cans, and with Halloween coming up. Obviously, she's going to be in the news a lot because she always is. But they were talking about, there's always been a rumor, because Elvira was in the movie as Cassandra Peterson, before she was Elvira, in that Alan Quatermain and the Lost City of Gold, that movie from the 80s. It was like about 86. It was before Sharon Stone was a famous actress. She was just starting to get going, and there's always been a rumor that Sharon Stone was such a monster and a bitch on the set that a bunch of people from the crew peed in the bathtub that she had to get into. Yeah,
where she's doing the nude scene.
Yeah,
I believe it. People do stuff like that, man.
Oh yeah, I guess it was bad. Hey, Maddie D, do we have the audio of that RuPaul interview?
Oh, I would love to hear.
So now, the big story from that movie is that the crew members, Sharon Stone has a scene in a bathtub, and they hated her so much that the crew members all peed in the bathtub without her knowing it.
Yes, before she got in the water.
Amazing!
Isn't that brilliant?
I love those stories.
So loved her. That's a true story. That's a true story.
Oh, it's true. It's true. Yes, yeah. I was there and I heard all about it.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that?
I mean,
so what's the moral of the story is don't be an ass, right?
Yeah,
don't be mean
I've
to the people.
Never understood that. I've been in Hollywood since I was a child, and I just don't understand why people are ever divas toward crew or other castmates. I don't understand where it comes from. So, you know what? Pee on, crew.
Yeah, well, we did at Mr. Skin. We did a playlist of about naked girls peeing in movies. We called it Tinkle Bells, and I went back and just took a quick look at that. There's some awesome moments in movie history where, if you're into this, where girls are peeing. The best one is from a movie from the 70s called The Image.
Okay.
You have to check that out. It's wild, but I've seen Alanis Morissette peeing in, she did a document. Yeah, she did a documentary in one of her, yes, I'm with the band.
Morissette.
Yes. Alanis Morissette peeing, Rachel Miner and Bully. We have a whole playlist if you're into that.
But Alanis Morissette in a documentary means it's her actually peeing.
Yeah, she pees into a plastic cup that's backstage at a concert.
I love her so much. And I think Sharon Stone should get an honorary mention, because even though she's not peeing in this scene, she's laying in pee.
She's laying in pee.
I mean, she's naked in pee. So it's an honorary golden shower for the Tinkle Bell category.
Yeah, we'll add her. But yeah, our Tinkle Bell list is a great one. So anyway, that was just a cool story we heard.
Well, that was fantastic.
I wanted to share it with you. So, and then last but not least, I did want to mention that there is that show. Do you watch or know about the show Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
I've heard about it. I don't have a lot of time to watch shows, so I'm very selective.
Right.
But
you're not like me.
I did get a little heads up about a really funny song/music video about gargantuan heavy boobs, and it's pretty hilarious.
Yes. Well, so season 2 of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend on the CW starts, I think it's Friday night, and a lot of people are into this. The main girl is Rachel Bloom, who plays Rebecca Bunch, and I know myself and a lot of the guys here at the Skin offices are big fans of hers. Now, she's never been naked, but she just has these big, heavy boobs, and she always shows cleavage, and she's,
well, it's hard not to show cleavage when you have titties like that. Like, you have to really go out of your way to suppress them. Like, no, you can't be shown. Like, it's really hard work. And not that I can relate, but I know.
Yeah, a couple of, I don't know when it was, within a couple weeks ago, someone sent me the YouTube video of her heavy boobs music video. It is so funny and so fun to watch too if you're a guy, if you're into the big breasts.
How much do you think they weigh, Mr. Skin, each?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm guessing maybe 7 pounds, 8 pounds each. I'm not joking. Breasts are very heavy.
Well, it's funny
when they're real and dense like that.
Right. The one time I really started to think of heavy boobs was when that Alexandra Daddario scene in True Detective.
Yes.
I remember a friend of mine. See, I told you this, how like I'll be at, I could be at a church service, a funeral, like, at an important a kids event. And there's always some dad that comes up to me and wants to pick my brain on nudity. Well, I remember this guy that's a friend of mine came up to me and goes, "Did you see that True Detective, that
You're
that
like,
girl
did
in
I
True
see
Detective,
it?
boy, she has heavy hangers, man." And I was like, "Oh, okay," because that it is true. She has heavy boobs, and this is this girl Rachel Bloom. So Maddie D, we do have a little clip of the video, and it's really good. If you haven't seen it, search Rachel Bloom heavy boobs video. It's awesome.
Nice.
I got them heavy boobs, dance like dying stars. I got them heavy boobs. I can't run real far. Let me break down what I just said. Each of my double D's has the volume of a toddler's head. Now bitching about my boobies, they look super flying shirts. But if I swung them in your face, you'd be like, "Oh my God, that hurts." I'm blind, holy crap, I literally can't see. I have permanent retinal damage. I'm suing you and your heavy boobies. Heavy boobs, dance like dying stars. I got them heavy boobs. They each have their own memoirs. Here is a list of all of the objects that I can hold under my boobs. Stapler, 10 pencils, paperback copy of Arabian Nights, dog bone, remote control, hardback copy of Wuthering Heights. That's what my boobs are like.
Yeah, she's got a good sense of humor about it. And you got to remember, she's bouncing around, and she has these other girls with heavy boobs, and they're all bouncing.
No?
Yeah, and there were no phony fun bags in that crew, man. That was awesome.
No,
and,
imagine what a great job that casting director had.
Yeah,
like I need all girls for this video
for
that have natural, huge, heavy, real boobs that have no problem bouncing and shaking them, all day. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah. I'm just so stoked on that.
Get out the postal scale,
yes.
right? Yeah.
So yeah,
heavy boobs only need apply for this video, right?
That was absolutely yes. We learned so much today on the Mr. Skin podcast. I want to remind everyone, if you want to leave us a message, 304-TALK-SKIN, MrSkinPodcast.com, and make sure you go to the website to participate in the Erection 2016, which is still going on. Mr. Skin, when do the polls close?
The day of the actual election on November 8th will announce the winners. Okay. And we've had thousands, and I am not exaggerating, thousands and thousands of people voting on our 12 different categories. And I've been doing a lot of promotion on the radio for this thing, and the radio jocks are digging this. It's so much fun because for their listeners too, they get to just come and watch from our different categories like President-elect and Secretary of the Posterior and the Attorney Genital. You could watch the video for free of the different scenes and then vote. We have 4 actresses for each category, and there's, like I said, 12. It's a fun promotion. We have a sponsor, PHGH, for it, which I'm a big fan of, by the way. And just for voting, this is completely free. We're going to pull one name out of the hat, and you could win a 55-inch Samsung 4K TV.
Wow.
So,
if
needless
that's
to
not
say,
incentive enough.
yeah, it's skin incentive. Erection 2016, a big promo, and you could still vote right up to the day of the actual election, 2016, November 8th, and we'll announce the winners. But worst case scenario, you come and you get to watch, I don't know, what's 12 times 4? That sounds
48?
like about 48.
I don't know.
48 nude scenes. Yeah, you get to look at 48 nude scenes while you vote, all for free.
Well, God bless you, Mr. Skin.
Yeah.
This is what America needs right now, so you're doing amazing work. All right, This has been such an incredible episode. We've talked about Elvira, Sharon Stone, nudity resorts, Jennifer Connelly, and big, heavy titties. We're going to have to top
heavy
this.
Hangers.
Yes, and we'll do our best to top it next week. It's been so fun, Mr. Skin. We'll do it again next week.
You're awesome, Andrea.
Right.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
MrSkin.com. Fast forwarding to the good parts.